Hey garden friends, welcome to Primrose Cottage. Today we are inside here because it's so cold out. You saw the snow coming down. It's coming down even harder now than when I walked in here. It's quite the blizzard out there, and even my greenhouse with my little heater is just too cold for me today. So we are in here and we are going to talk seeds. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and or share with your friends. And it helps me a lot, so I really appreciate that. So this year, I have decided not to buy seeds, or very many seeds. I've really told myself that I had to stick and or use what I had. And you can see this thing is full. This has got a bunch, and this has got a bunch in it, and I don't need any more. When I order seeds, it's usually because there's a variety I want to try, something that's new that's caught my eye. In fact, after I determined not to buy any more seeds, other than I did know I wanted to buy some certain seeds, and we'll get to that in a minute, I started getting seed catalogs, and I made the mistake of looking through them. Yeah. Bad idea, because I thought, oh, there was a tomato in, I think, the Baker Seeds catalog. And I thought, I'd love to try that one. It matures early, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, maybe I better stick to my guns. Now, when I had placed an order earlier, I had done an order before, because before I made that determination, there was some coleus I wanted, and it was from the Baker Seeds. And a few of the flowers that I wanted to grow. Okay, this is Baker Creek. Yeah, I wanted to try some particular petunias that they had. So I did order some. So I can't say I completely didn't buy any new seeds. But I have all of these seeds. Now I'm going to be organizing them according to when I need to sow them. Like if I can winter sow them, I'm going to pull those out and set them aside. And then the ones I need to start a little bit earlier in the season, like the petunias, I can start pretty soon. And they do very, very well on my grow racks. I even had one year, they were blooming on the racks, and I just got to enjoy them inside before it was warm enough to put them outside. But I'm going to separate also by the ones I need to direct sow or want to direct sow. Some vegetable seeds that I want to grow, and all of that. So, and like if I have zinnias, I know I want to plant a bunch of zinnias. And this year, I'm going to start some indoors to get started early. Excuse me. I want to start zinnias inside early. Usually I just direct sow them, and I don't do them inside, because I don't usually have the room. But last year we had such a cool summer that I didn't get to enjoy my zinnias. It just wasn't warm enough for them to germinate. Now, if I can get them germinated and started and then put them out, then they'll do okay. This year, yeah, I don't want to risk it. It may be a hot year. I don't know. So I'm going to start at least half of them indoors, get them going, and then I'll put them out in the garden. Now, I've just did a video on winter sowing echinacea, which is very, very popular. Now, winter sowing echinacea is possible because it is a cold hardy perennial. And when they self-seed in my garden in the fall and begin to come up, they overwinter through snow, ice, cold, what have you, and then they start blooming, growing again in the spring when it warms up, and then they bloom. But zinnias, they're not that type. Usually, unless your weather has stabilized, warmed up where your temperatures are not too cold at night, you cannot start zinnias in winter. It's very rare, because you will get, like we get, the springtime where you have the warm days, where it gets plenty warm inside your seed starting containers, your winter sowing containers, but at night the temperature drops below the range of where zinnias will thrive. So if you want to do zinnias with the same method, like putting them into a container like a jug, like you do winter sowing. You would do that later in the season, not during winter, but during spring, when you don't have as high a risk of them being zapped with the cold. And that's the same with cosmos and other things that are more tender. Now, some people will say that they've had success, but that doesn't mean they've had as good a germination or as many plants as you would get as if you did it later. So just know that those are not cold hardy. And don't be discouraged if you tried winter sowing them. I know some people did. And they said, winter sowing doesn't work because my zinnias all died or they didn't do whatever. It was the wrong flowers. So make sure you pick the ones that are cold hardy. Okay, so I'm going to go through with you a few of the things I did buy, seeds, and I'll tell you why. So let me scoot this one over here. And some of them may be in there. Oh yeah, some of them are in there. Now, number one, wave petunias. I absolutely love wave petunias because they do so well for me in my climate. I'm a zone 8B, but I have a short growing season. I know that many people will say that, oh, you're a zone 8, you have a long growing season. In fact, there was some kind of master class, and it was about growing in zone 8, and that's one of the things it said right off the bat was, oh, you have a warm, long growing season. Well, that told me right there, whoever made that master class did not garden in a zone 8 like mine, or even know what the zones mean. So go back, watch my mini videos or my blog post on USDA zones and what they really mean for you in your garden, because it does not tell you the length of your growing season. That's just one thing it does not tell you. So enough on that. Is sometimes when I see those kind of things and it's so misleading to people who don't know that it bothers me. It really does. So that's why I'm always talking about it. So this year I bought 2 packets. I got these from Park Seeds because they always have the wave petunias that I want. And let me see, I got 2. Easy Wave Sweet Taffy Mix. This is the first year the seeds for these are out. And I had seen them at Cultivate. They had them in the planters, and I guess they were available in the baskets at certain garden centers or big box stores, but they weren't available, the mix. Oh, there's a big old jackrabbit out there in my garden. Sorry for the distraction. He just caught my eye. He's probably trying to find something to eat. It's all covered with snow, poor thing. Anyways, they did not have this mix last year, and I didn't see it. But when I spotted it there at the Cultivate show on display, I fell in love with it. Now it's a pink and yellow mix that just goes so well together. Now these, I got 2 packets because I wanted to make sure I had plenty, will be planted in the center of my secret cottage garden. I call it my circle garden. And I always do petunias there because they just fill in and do so beautiful, and I love them. So that's what I'm going to make sure I start. These are going to be started indoors on my light racks. And I have to do wave petunias. Now, in fact, February, next month, on Instagram, I guess it's only on Instagram they have it, I don't know. But I'm going to be the pink pot ambassador for wave petunias. What that entails, I don't know. I'm sure they'll tell me. So let's see, what is this one? Oh, Evening Sensation. Now this is a pretty, it's not quite lavender. I would say it's a darker lavender. But what I get these for is this perfume is so wonderful. I just love them. I'll put a picture of them up for you. But I also got those at Park Seeds. And then Tidal Wave. I got 2 packets of Tidal Wave Purple. Tidal Wave Purple? I had gotten the other one. I wonder if I have it. There was another Tidal Wave that I got. Silver Tidal Wave. It was magnificent. I'm surprised I didn't get one. I might have to order that one. It'll climb up arbors. It will smother entire areas. In fact, I had it in the Secret Cottage garden 2 years ago, and it was climbing up and over my daisies and completely swamping them. And then I put a a little trellis for it, and it just climbed up. It's just so gorgeous, and it was massive. If you want to do like a ground cover, the silver tidal wave high petunia will be the ticket. Now this one's purple. Now it goes to show you how I forget what I've ordered when it's been a couple months, because I ordered it as soon as I saw them available on Park Seeds. This is Sputnik. It's a Rudbeckia. That one I got last year, so that's not this year. All the others were 2024. Now there is another gardener on YouTube. She's also Zone 8, but she's in Texas. And she had these Super Bellissima Cosmic Cherry, I think it was, petunias. And she showed them that she grew last year from seed, and they were gorgeous. I will link to her when she's sowing hers, and she has pictures of these. And yeah, I just fell in love with them. So I had to order myself some and give them a try. So that was from Baker Creek. So I also bought some, like the Blue Boy Bachelor's Buttons, which I was planning on putting over here in this garden bed that I'm going to do cut flowers in. And this is something you early sow. I can winter sow these, and I may go ahead and do that since now that's covered with snow. I didn't get to that because we were going to go get a truckload of the compost that I fill the beds with. We didn't get to that yet. And then last week, our first snow, the snow plow plowed into my husband's truck. So we can't use it. And so I couldn't go get my stuff. We were here when it happened, and therefore they are going to fix it, according to what they say. So we will trust them to do so. Now, Petunia Balcony Mix. This is a super neat blend. And let me read it to you. A once popular variety in the early 20th century, delightfully fragrant. The perfume of these is just so wonderful. I have them usually on my deck rails, and when you walk by and you can smell them, I love fragrance in the garden. So any heirloom or etc. flower, I will try to grow. And that's what these are. These are a heirloom. Trailing plants, they're very trailing. So they're perfect for hanging baskets, etc. Now one thing, the wave petunias do bloom more prolifically, but these are worth it even if they aren't as prolific or as rambunctious as the other ones. They're worth it to me. So another this is Super Bellissima Cernese Triumph Mix. So this is a mix of the Super Bellissima, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, mix of petunias, but I wanted to go ahead and try them. So last year I was so successful with my coleus that did I winter sow those? No, I started them from seed, and it was a cheap 50-cent pack of seeds from the dollar store. But all I could get was mixes. And so I wanted to make sure I grew ones that were not a mix, that I wanted a particular color, and this one just wowed me, this beautiful red. Now this one is called Pinto Mix, and I think these were shorter. Intense splashes of rainbow colors paint a gorgeous picture in the garden. This old-fashioned plant is perfect for shady spots, also great for containers and borders. Many bright colors evoking the spirit of Victorian gardens. Coleus were very popular in the Victorian age. So, yeah, that might have been, sometimes they'll send you a bonus package when you order so many. Mullion. Now this is verbascum. Now I have a purple verbascum. I have white wands, wedding candles. Love them. They are big plants, so you need to put them like towards the back of the border. And when I saw this rose one, I had to have it because they do so well for me. And anything that does very well and the gophers don't eat, I'm there. So that's another one. Gomphrena. I love Gomphrena. They make the best dried flowers. I grew this when I lived in the valley. I grew the strawberry, is it called strawberry fields? I had a whole rows of it, and I had baby's breath. And then my son's fourth grade class had what was called Western Days or something. So everything was like in the cowboy age. And they had to cook over a fire. They had to do all these things, and we made wreaths. And I brought the Gomphrena and the baby's breath, and I had all this wisteria because the grapevines that we had collected had dried out too much to make wreaths. So I took the long canes from the wisteria, and they were fresh. So I took them out there and we made those into wreaths, and it worked beautifully. But we had the kids put the dried flowers all around them, and they were a big hit. So, but Gomphrena was the star of the show. The baby's breath was beautiful too, but the bright colors of the Gomphrena, and they dried so beautifully. I had already dried them, I think. I can't remember. That has been 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. But okay, there was the petunias I bought. Tomato spoon. Oh, free seed. This is the free one. Potato spoon. Oh, look how small those are. Let me see if I can get this up here and have it. But that was my free seeds. I can't wait to try them. They're really tiny. How fun. Okay, and violet wild petunia. Okay, this South American native wildflower is low growing, heat tolerant, floriferous, easy to grow, and blooms all summer long. It was traditionally used as a hallucinogenic. I won't be eating it. Do not ingest, not widely studied, and could be toxic. How interesting, because I know other petunias can be eaten. I can't remember. Anyways, well, I don't eat my petunias anyways. So those are the ones I did purchase this year. Last year I had purchased a bunch that I never got in planted, and others I just had leftovers. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I have plenty to pull from, as well as vegetable seeds. Queen of Crunch, this is a fabulous lettuce because, as it says, it stays crunchy. It's not mushy, and it's not floppy. Zinnia polar bear. Yeah, I got this is from Select Seeds. This is one of my favorite zinnias. But as I said, I'm going to go through. I'm going to pick out what I want to plant this year, and all of that. Now, last year, I grew the habanero. These are habanero peppers that are tame. They're not any hotter than a bell pepper. They were wonderful. And that and my jalapenos, they're natapenos. Beautiful flavor, not hot at all. I roasted a bunch and we just enjoyed them to death. Okay, yeah, this one is the natapeno. See if you can see that. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. I do have a plant in my greenhouse. I dug it up and put it in. I don't think that it's going to make it. It should be in a warmer area, and I just didn't have room for it in my house. So I did grow this last year. This is the ananas noir tomato. I had heard rave reviews about it, but personally we weren't impressed. So that one I should probably do a seed swap and send seeds to people who want to swap seeds. Yeah, like as I said, I'm just going to go through these and pull out. I did get a bunch of sunflowers last year that I didn't get planted. Pro Cut White Light. And why it was is because we never really got that hot. So I was thinking it would need hotter temperatures. I had planted out the ones that I got from the dollar store, and quite frankly, I wasn't impressed with them. I really wasn't. Maybe if I had a bunch and I could cut them for cut flowers, but I didn't. I only had a few. So here's another Gomphrena. So I need to pull out all my seeds, put together what I am going to grow. The Gomphrena usually, let me see, transplant recommended. Okay, so some things you really need to direct sow. Now, this flying saucer, was this the one? Might have been. Flying saucer Morning Glory. I had these growing on my arbors in the Rose Cottage garden. I loved them. They went all the way to the top, and they bloomed mostly at the top of the arbors, and that might have been disappointing if it wasn't that my porch is kind of, you look level with the top of my arbors as you walk around on my side porch of my house, my wraparound porch. And so you could see them from inside the house, from my back deck when we'd sit out there. So it was perfect, and I loved them. So these ones were botanical interests. The store that I go to just a half hour away, they have a garden center. It's an Ace Hardware. They carry the botanical interests, and they will have these in stock. So I don't need to order them online. And I'm definitely doing them again because they were just so, so wonderful. that, my friends, is it. I didn't mean to bore you to death with all my seed talk. As I sow for putting on my light racks and under lights, and when I do more winter sowing, ooh, isn't that gorgeous? That's Benary's giant zinnia. Gorgeous. I will take you along. And some things I just direct sow out in the garden, like morning glories. Some things I start inside on my plant racks, like my petunias, and I will do some zinnias. Usually I just direct sow zinnias, but not this year. I'll direct sow some, but if it's warm enough, and then I'll definitely start some inside. And then I'm also going to, next thing that I winter sow, I will take you along for that too. So we'll be spending some time in the greenhouse. I will toughen up, dress up, or get dressed warmly so I can be out in the greenhouse. But I've gotten my studio pretty much, I'm getting it cleaned up, organized, because I want to get back to my painting classes that I do for my website, which is pamelagropey.com. Put the name up across the screen. I have easy painting lessons for super beginners that you'll just have fun. This is fun painting. It's not fine art. It's fun art. So, yeah, but it gets you used to the flow of the brush, the paints, all of that, and it's just fun. So, and I enjoy it. Now with it snowing out and my garden's covered, I'm in the mood to get in here and paint. And I'm going to be taking another class myself. And I wanted it clear in here so I could come in here and do that. You know how it is when a place is cluttered. It's just annoying rather than inspiring, and I need some inspiration. I don't know. Can you see behind me? This is my little dresser I got, and I showed you. I'll move you around and you can see it. When I went to the primitive barn, and I love it. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. I still have more paints to put in it in the drawers, but yeah, it's all good. So I'm thrilled with that. And as I get things put away, then I'll have even more room in here, and it will be fun to come in here and paint again. And or I can talk to you. I've got a pretty chair that I bought. I was hoping to put it in that corner. I have a really neat lamp that will be pretty next to it and all of that. So I hope to see you in my next video where I might be planting some of these seeds. So we'll check in on that. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. So here's my little storage dresser sitting there, storing my paint out of sight. So it's doing its job and I'm loving it. And this, my friends, is the blizzard going on outside. We may get up to a foot of snow. I don't know. They've changed the number several times, but just because I would rather have less, it will be more. But all is good. It's January. It is to be expected, so I shouldn't complain.